it's Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. This week I am working on doing 3 tag flips for a Facebook group swap. One is for the host and then 2 are to swap. And I'm also doing a pocket letter. So what I thought I would do tonight is just sit down and do some die cutting out on my die cutting machine and just kind of chat with you guys as I prepped all of these things. So, you know, it just is a lot of work to get the die cutting machine out and to, you know, do everything. It'd be nice if you had like several of each die so you could just do so many at a time. But you know, you're running it through one at a time. So it takes a little bit longer. So what I think I'm going to do is I have these butterflies. These are only for the tag flips. So I have 4 different layers. So I think I'm going to do a base layer, which is maybe going to be like the B side of the paper here. I'm going to do a vellum piece. Then I'm going to do the A side of the paper. And then it is like the gold outline on top. And I think I'm going to sew down the middle. And then there's these kind of delicate little butterfly body and antenna that I think I'm going to then glue on top of the sew line. So I'm just going to prep this stuff to get it ready to sew. I'm going to do all the punching. You know, these butterflies look so beautiful, but they take a while to get all of the pieces out of them. And it's really a dainty little one, which makes it look just beautiful when it's put together. You know, but this is like where things take time and it's time consuming, but definitely enjoy it. It's usually something if I'm not video recording it, you know, I'm just watching a show or watching YouTube videos while I'm doing it. There, so that is what the full wing looks like cut out. You know, and then your desk after you're done punching all of these out is a mess. My floor is a mess, but that is okay. So the tag flip requirements are, you know, about between a 2x2 size and a 4x4 size of each tag. You only have to do 4 tags. They have to be at least 3 layers, so like 3, you know, larger embellishments on it. And then, like I said, at least 4 of them. They should be thicker, like on a chipboard or something, but I think I'm going to use my single-sided 6x8 paper and then just double it and like sew it together. So I'm hoping that'll be thick enough for what the expectation is. And then, let's see, what else am I going to add to it? Then I'm going to add one of the rainbows that I made. Where is it? I've got my stuff all next to me here. I'm going to add one of these rainbows to each one. So I have a bag topper cutout that is going to be, you know, part of it too. So I'm going to include a rainbow, and I won't count that as the tag. I think the 4 that need to be done are like embellished tags. And when I usually do tag flips, guys, I usually don't do a lot of just embellished pages. Hold on, this one's almost done. There, look how gorgeous that is. This is like one of my favorite dies. It's so pretty. It's just from AliExpress. So it's going to look like that. Then the vellum. And then the purple, you know, and I'll fold up the middle so it looks dimensional. And then this little piece will sit on top. I'll just glue that on top. So that's going to be 1. So anyway, when I've done my tag flips, I like to do them where each tag is something that you're giving something, like not just decorating it. So this will be the first one that I actually just decorate. So, you know, to get my inspiration, I usually browse other YouTube videos just to see what other people have done. I think this butterfly will probably sit on one of the tags. I won't do anything too major to the tag. I think I'll layer up a couple, you know, maybe a doily behind it or behind the butterfly. So the tag, then a doily, and then maybe a piece of ephemera, like a floral piece of ephemera from the collection, something like that. I'll just play around with it. But I think for sure I want the butterfly to be the focal piece. So I'll do that on one. I have a lot of the chipboard stickers, and I'm using Maggie Holmes Garden Party, if you couldn't tell, which I'm sure you guessed already. And that's one of the nice things too, like that is what I'm focusing on now. So my pocket letter is also going to be Maggie Holmes Garden Party collection. So I'll be able to just work with that same collection. If you've been following my channel for a while, I used to have a tiered tray that I had made that I put on my desktop, and it was 3 layers, and I filled it with, like, I think I started it in the fall, so I filled it with seasonal things. So it was like first fall, then I did Halloween, then I did Christmas, and it was really nice because it made me focus on those pieces that were in that tiered tray, and I tried to just use up as much as I could from the tiered tray. And I think I'm going to get back to doing that. I think I'm going to start with maybe like a base collection, and then I'm going to match like different 3D pieces that I have. So whether it's like cabochons or beads or charms that I want to use up, or you know, a sequin mix that's going to match that collection that I can use for several different projects. I got the idea from Danny, who's Pop Fizz Paper. She used to do that when she was on YouTube. I think she just has a paid YouTube channel now. I don't think she even does Patreon anymore. I think it's all through YouTube. But and then it was neat. And then at the end of the month, she would show her empties, and I really enjoyed it. And I used a lot of my Halloween and Thanksgiving collection by doing that. So I think I'm going to get back to that. So I bought some pieces from Dollar Tree. It's going to cost me maybe $6 to put it together. And I'll show you guys. I plan on doing it sometime this weekend. And I'll post it either while I'm doing it or the final results. The one that I used prior to this is silver, and I just kind of am working on redoing my craft area little by little. I'm doing some organization, and I'm going with gold now. So I'm using that outdoors. I put some succulents in it. So this one that I'm doing is just going to be like acrylic and white. So I'm excited for that. And then I think I'm going to fill it up with pieces from the Garden Party collection, just to make sure that I use it. And that is one of the things that I've really been trying hard not to do, is buy too much, which, you know, I'm failing at in some aspects, but I want to use what I have. That's the whole point of, you know, buying the craft things. I do not like to hoard things. And I'm not hoarding necessarily at this point. It's just that I'm buying more than I'm using, and I don't like that. Like, I'm running out of places to store things. So, and in my craft room, everything needs to have a place. So I need to use up some of the things to free up some of the space. And I have a small craft room, which I promise you guys I will do a video someday. A little piece that's stuck in there. I'd have to get out my scissors and trim that. This is just a little detail scissors from Dollar Tree that I actually just received from Valerie. Thank you, Valerie. My other one from Dollar Tree I use for washi and for cutting like foam tape, so it's really sticky. So I just have a new one now that I can use, so thank you. Okay, so we're almost done with this butterfly. And I only did 3. I should have done a 4th one, so I could include one in my pocket letter, but I already had all of the gold and vellum put away, and I was on to the next thing, so I didn't feel like getting it all back out, but I will do something else with it, or with the pocket letter. one is a little stubborn. So I'm finding like some of the dyes from AliExpress that I've been buying, you know, aren't always the best quality, and I'm not able to always get a clean punch with it. I think I've expressed that before, but I need to like pay attention to where I'm getting them from, so I make sure I'm not ordering from them again, knowing that it's not the best. Okay, so there's the third one. I hope you guys were in frame for that. I wasn't even watching. So here's all the little bits and pieces that came out of it. Just gonna get rid of that. Okay, so I'll take those to the sewing machine. These are the bag toppers that I did, and this bag topper die is the worst one that I've bought in. And I have to look where I got it from because I don't remember. These scallops do not come out at all. I have to like put all of this layered paper underneath in order for it to even cut all the way through just the bottom layer. But these little pieces right here, all the way to the left side, are just a pain, and I'll have to end up cutting those. Well, that's gonna rip off, which is fine. Okay, so that one's out. I was so frustrated with this. I was doing a swap a couple months ago. I think it was my first one for Tamika's channel. My only one that I've done on Tamika's channel. And I was gifting, no, it wasn't Tamika's. It was my first one with Brittany, BB Crafts. And I was gifting some bag toppers. And I ended up having to just slice off the scallop because it looked ridiculous by the time I was done doing it. It just didn't have a clean cut edge, and it was frustrating. You know, then you're gifting a product that just looks so plain. It's like, oh, just a regular old bag topper with nothing special on it. I kind of felt bad, but all right, so that is as good as it's going to get. That is what the scallop looks like there. I'm just going to take this. This is all sewing machine prep. So I'm going to take this piece, which I'm going to put here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right down the middle just so it stays on there. And then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew around the edges of it. So I just put that right in the middle just to keep it in place. And then my sewing machine my needle's not going to get gummed up when I do sew it. All right, so let's see if this one's going to cooperate. The reason I want to use this bag topper for my rainbows is because it has the piece cut out of it, and I can put it on the ring for the tag flip. So this is just all prep, and then tomorrow when I have time to sit down and craft, it's been a really busy couple weeks. My kids haven't done anything through quarantine, and now my son and daughter are both playing lacrosse, and they're trying to fit in as many games as possible. So it's practice every single night, which my oldest can drive. He's 18, and my daughter who's 14, she needs a ride to practice every night. So, you know, it's a ride there, it's a ride home. And then by the time I sit down to craft, it is like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And so I haven't been able to do too much these past couple weeks, but it's, you know, the season isn't going to be that long. It's my son's actual final high school season. So we're trying to enjoy that as much as possible too. These are just frustrating. I should just throw this die away. You know, it took me forever to even invest in the die machine because I have a Cricut and I was doing SVG files. But I noticed my Cricut is not even really that old. Okay, finally. It is a couple of years old, but I feel like they lose or they improve each year. So my model is, you know, probably not the best, but it doesn't cut paper the best. So I get kind of frustrated because it will snag, or it will not cut all the way through my files. But the die cutting machine was so expensive, I just couldn't justify spending, you know, $150, $200 on this machine when I had a machine that cut out paper already. And then knowing how much the dies were. And I hadn't discovered AliExpress yet. I did not take the plunge to do that at that time. So Hobby Lobby really was the only place that was carrying dies. Joann's and Michael's had them, but mine were not really restocking. So they only had a few, oh shoot. They only had a few in stock. You know, and then Hobby Lobby, I would use a 40% off coupon. And so that was good. But anyway, I ended up finding my die cutting machine on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody was selling it, and I ended up getting it for $40. So that was a really good deal. So then I felt better about the investment, and I really do like it. I really like the clean cut look when a die, you know, cuts really nice. Like my Cricut could never do this. Like no way could it do that. And so, you know, there's things I really enjoy about it. And now that AliExpress has dies, I know that was controversial for a while too. But it seems like that has all settled down. But I will admit that like the Sizzix dies that I have are so much higher quality. Like you definitely can tell the difference. And I definitely can only cut paper with any of the dies I have. They are not thick enough. They're barely thick enough to go through paper, let alone to try my like faux leather on them or something like that. Okay, so that one is done. A little bit of adhesive there. I'll put the final panel on. Okay, so these three are done. And these three, I just made new bag toppers because like I said, they're going in the tag flip. My pocket letter person, I am sending a rainbow along as well, but I'll just use one that I already pre-packaged up. Okay, and then these I'm going to do a shaker mix with. And I did this floral, which is so pretty. This is probably my favorite paper from the collection. And then I'm going to do the vellum on top. And I'm going to sew around that. And then I'm going to put a sequin mix in there. And then I'll do a hole here, and I'll do a grommet to hang it on the tag. What I'm debating right now is if I should cut off the scalloped edge of the vellum, so you can see the scallop of this in the background, and then this would just be plain. I'm going to do it on one, and then I'll see if I like it or not. And the one that's, if I don't like it, or if I prefer it with both the scallops on, then I'll just give this one to the host, just because it's going to be different. I mean, it's going to look fine. It's going to look nice. Either way, it's just going to be what I prefer. So this one is nice because I'm just cutting right on the stitching line. Okay. So now it'll look like that. I don't know, do you guys have an opinion? I think I like it better on, so I'm going to leave the other ones on. Well, actually, I cut out 4 of these because one is for the pocket letter. So I'll use this one for the pocket letter, and then the tag flip ones will all be the same. All right, so I'm gonna head to my sewing machine and I'll be right back and I'll show you how everything turned out. Back from the sewing machine, and I have the butterflies done. These I'm going to trim all my strings off, I think. Sometimes I like to leave the strings on just to give it a whimsical look, but that is how it looks. We're gonna bend these up so we can show off all the layers. So it'll look like that. I think it's so pretty. And then I'll go ahead and glue that piece right in the middle, the right way, like that. And that is what the finished butterfly will look like. The hearts, I did a double kind of messy stitch around. I think I am gonna leave some of these strings hang down just because I like the way it looks. But I'll see when I do the final product. And then I just left a little opening here, and I will be able to open that up like that, put my sequins in there, and then I'll finish the bottom. I'll just sew that little piece up right there. That's the back. And then lastly, I did a zigzag stitch on the bag topper. And I'm gonna trim those off. And then I will decorate these with some of the ephemera pieces from the collection. So that is what that looks like. So that is everything tonight, guys. I'm going to put together my sequin mix tomorrow, I think, and then I'm going to just create the actual tags themselves, and I should be able to put it together as well. Oh, one more thing. I'll do this tomorrow night as well, but I am going to cut these strips up from these fabric squares that I bought at Tuesday morning, and I'm going to use these on the top of the binder ring. So I'll do that tomorrow night as well to finish it off, and I'll add some ribbon as well. So stick around, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.